Hello and welcome. This is Marisol, and today's video is a walkthrough of my Week in the Life 2017 album. I have been working on this album for so long. In fact, I started it last year and I put all of my pictures in there. I put in embellishments, and I got stuck when it came to the journaling. I didn't know what to do with the journaling, and so I put the album aside. But I was determined to continue working on the album and finish it before starting Week in the Life 2018, which is starting tomorrow. So I got it done right on time. So I'm going to start with the spine. As you saw, I just used stamps to stamp out the phrase Week in Our Life 2017. I used mostly this stamp set to do the stamping, which came in last year's kit. The word in, I used an old stamp set that I have laying around. This is the inside cover. I don't typically do this, and I'm glad that I did it this year because I think it looks really good. Again, using lots of elements from the kit. I'm just going to say this up front. I used the Ali Edwards 2017 Week in the Life kit for the majority of the album. There are some other things sprinkled here and there from my stash. So this is my intro page. It's just a picture of my family, minus one of my kids. He was already living on his own back then. For the album, what I did was I tried to follow a formula. I set things up so that there was a lot of repetition, and that took out a lot of the creative dilemmas that I get trapped in when I'm working on my albums. Once I came up with an idea, I stuck with it, and I did it through the rest of the album, and it made the album production work pretty quickly. What you'll see for every 6x8 album is that I created a cluster in the corner for all of the 6x8 photos. So look for that as I walk through the album. And for the 3x4 and 4x6 photos, I used a small cluster that includes a label, a word strip, and a wood veneer heart, along with the time. The other thing that I did was I tried to match the color of the label to the color of the divider. I think I did a pretty good job. There might be 1 or 2 days where it doesn't match, but I was okay with it. And the other thing is I used these, what are these? These plastic words laying right on top of the divider. This was something that I had several different ideas when I was initially working on the album for these, and it did not work out, and in the end I finally decided to use them like this. With these word strips, they were perforated, but I have the digital version of the kit, and so I printed them out that way and then ran them through my Xyron machine and created stickers, cut them out, and now I don't have the perforated edges. That's something that I don't prefer, are those perforated edges. Every 6x8 page protector has a 5x7 photograph mounted on a gray piece of cardstock. I used these these chipboard pieces, the days of the week, from an Ali Edwards summer chipboard set, I think it was. So this is the start of Monday, and here I have a flip out. This is something that I regularly do in my 6x8 albums when I have more pictures that I want to share. For the journaling in the 3x4 cards, or the 4x6 cards, I varied between handwriting and journal strips. This is one of my favorite photos. It's my morning view of my coffee, with my coffee. There are the journal strips. Now, the journaling that is on these 3x4 cards is very superficial, some facts, right? Not a lot of feelings, not a lot of detail. And for that, I created 3x8 journal strips, I guess you could call them, that I will add into my album. They're not in my album right now only because I ran out of 3x8 page protectors. So once I get those, I will add these into this album. That was another thing that really tripped me up, was the journaling. I didn't know how I was going to add all these words. And once I figured it out, it moved along pretty quickly. So these will go inside of the album once I get those 3x8 page protectors, which are still out of stock. So now on to Wednesday. Again, a 5x7 with the cluster. This says Wednesday Story, and it is again from that same summer chipboard set from 2017 from Ali Edwards. For this one, I have a landscape photo, and I'm okay with that. I really liked it, that photo of me and my 3 young kids. I learned so much about my family while doing this project. We were on spring break during that week, and it was great. I'm glad that I was able to document during that week. While it wasn't your typical work week, it was a typical week for us because every year we're on spring break, and we do kind of the same activities every year, which is lacrosse, the museum, the Y, playing outside, dishes, laundry. For this card here, I used the stamp set and did some 2nd and 3rd generation stamping to create that card. It says morning, afternoon, and evening. This card is actually from the Changes kit, but I thought it was so appropriate because I told a story of how these boys here have been playing lacrosse with each other since middle school, and now they're seniors, and in the fall would be moving on their separate ways because they're going off to college. Throughout, as the week went on, I took less and less pictures, which I figured that would happen. So I didn't have as many pictures by the weekend as I did early in the week. This is a picture of my car, how many miles I drove that day. This is another one of my favorite pictures of this rhododendron that I have in my backyard. It was in full bloom. It's gorgeous. Love it. I might actually take this picture and make it into an 8x10 and put it in my family room. I did use other bits and pieces from, I think it was a Day in the Life kit. Here for this cluster, I ran out of the word strips, so I used the banners that came in the kit and used the stamp set to stamp out phrases, and then use different wood veneer stars because I ran out of those too. And then this one, I think, I don't know, it's kind of my favorite. This card here I created yesterday, and using the idea of using different types of fonts. I was influenced by the type kit, the type story kit, and I had a lot of fun looking for different phrases and different types of fonts to use for this card, and I thought it was a pretty good summary of the week. Anyway, that was a quick run through of my album. I hope you enjoyed it. I didn't get into a lot of detail about the stories or anything like that. I just wanted to do, like I said, a quick run through of the completed album for you guys. If by chance you have any questions, please just add them down below. And if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. I will be sharing my Week in the Life 2018 album when it's completed on my channel, and I will continue to share Project Life process videos and monthly walkthroughs of my Project Life album. So please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I appreciate it. And as always, take care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.